Welcome back to History in Motion, proudly brought to you by Midas.
Before the break, I asked you a quick question. What does the 40 in GD40 indicate? The answer is a low, sleek 40 inches high. One model of the GD40 had to be fitted with a bubble to accommodate the helmet of a taller driver.
The Sabat Lotus Challenge competitors were out in their numbers, and all of them were eager to get onto the track and get racing.
We just rebuilt the car after a massive accident at Kailami. Went out the first session and the diff backed up, so we had to take the diff out and replace it quickly.
I believe you're only the second person to have broken a diff in Class B.
Yeah, sounds like it. It was quite a big accident in Kailami. The car rolled over 4 times, and that must have caused the diff to get damaged.
A lot of work needed by Johan to get ready for the race.
It's very exciting. It's my second time out, so hopefully it goes well this weekend. There's a lot of things that we had to sort out in the car and prep and get it ready. It's something different to get used to. From coming from bike and driving car, I mean, a lot of things happening around you and stuff like that. You have to be so aware of the inside and outside lane, because normally in Enduro you're kind of on your own. Where this is, everyone's around you, so it becomes very tricky. And you have to be wide awake just to make sure that you're taking the right line and there's no one really around you.
Rob Gearing qualified fastest and takes pole position. Alongside him is James Forbes. Wesley Maxwell is the fastest of the Class C cars at 15th, with the fastest Class L car of Andre Duplessis starting alongside him in 16th. The cars are assembled and ready. The lights go on, the lights go out, and we go racing. The 25-car strong field accelerate their way to turn 1. Rob Gearing leads James Forbes into BMW performance parts, Glenn Clark following in third. Juan de Toy side by side with Curtis van Billion as they head into turn 1. Van Billion pushing his way out and ahead of Dutoy. Delata hits the curb and this sends him spinning across the track into the path of Glenn Clark and Jeff Gable. Neil Delata keeps his car going and drives alongside the track, gradually making his way back on and into the race. Not the best start to his race. At the front, James Forbes is challenging Rob Gearing for the lead. Powering through Castrol Corner, Forbes runs down the right-hand side of Gearing and keeps the power down. This tactic works and Forbes moves into the lead. Gearing is not willing to concede that easily though, and he fights back as the pair head into Sassel. Forbes manages to stay ahead for now. Anton Goose and Glenn Clark are side by side. Clark locking up as he comes into turn 5, but somehow manages to stay ahead of Goose. Goose trying to stay in touch with Clark, but Clark puts the power down heading to turn 7 and edges a bit of a gap. Into the hairpin, Mark Futcher leads Andre Duplessis, Wesley Maxwell and JD Powell. Powell putting a bit of pressure on the Lotus rookie Maxwell. Rob Gearing has been biding his time, looking for a way past James Forbes. Climbing up to the tabletop, he makes his move. Down the inside, Gearing goes, and he moves ahead of Forbes. Forbes will not let him gain a lot of ground and hangs onto his bumper. Andre Duplessis leads Wesley Maxwell through Castrol Corner. Looking back from Duplessis, we see Maxwell carry a bit too much speed and run wide, off into the gravel. In an effort to rejoin the track, he gets his car spat across the track and off into the infield. Credit to him, he keeps the car running and will rejoin the race further up the track. Rob Gearing and James Forbes have been joined by Jeff Gable and Etienne Stradom, making it a 4-way battle for the lead that comes up to turn 5. Gable gets a 2-for-1 deal and moves into the lead ahead of Forbes and Gearing. Etienne Stradom tries to make a pass on Gearing as well, but isn't close enough this time round. Into the hairpin, Juan de Toy leads Ben Knights in the Class L battle. Knights pushing hard, runs wide and off into the gravel trap, who rejoins the track, having lost quite a bit of ground on Dutoy. On board with Wesley Maxwell now into the hairpin, braking too late, he gets it all sideways and spins across the track. Philip Adicott makes contact and they both end up in the infield. Ashley Dean tiptoeing past the incident. Looking at the replay, you see Maxwell spin the back end out across the track and Adicott comes past and makes contact with the right rear of Maxwell's Lotus. From Adicott's perspective, he thought he would take the chance to pass Barry John Robinson, not seeing Maxwell blocking the track ahead. It was then too late to avoid contact, spelling retirement for both drivers who were left to go over the incident sitting on the grass. The lead battle races up to turn 5. Gable in the middle spearheads the group through Sassel and leads them. Rob Gearing moves into second place with Forbes at his heels. Stratum looking for any opportunity to move up, goes round the outside of Forbes through Kenwood, and the pair runs side by side. Dropping down the hill to turn 8, and Forbes edges ahead again. Stratum will slot in behind him through the final turn. Side by side, Gearing and Forbes come up the hill into turn 5, and Forbes moves into second place. Into Renexcon, Andre Duplessis leads JP Moret. Both drivers pushing hard and having a great race. Through turn 3, and Moret makes a move on Duplessis. Climbing up to turn 5, and it's Sean Allen in the orange machine who leads Andre Darfel and Carl Sharp. Some great battles going on throughout the field. Dropping into G&H Transport, it's still Jeff Gable who leads James Forbes ahead of Rob Gearing and Etienne Stratum, with Glenn Clark tucked in behind them. Into turn 1, the train of Lotuses goes. Forbes working really hard at the wheel, and it's gone all wrong for him as he finds himself in the gravel and heading for the tyre wall at rapid speed. That will be his day over. Gearing saw Forbes touch the inside curb and then disappear to the right. Pretty much the same view from Stratum. From the hairpin, you just saw a flash of red shoot across the track and head into the wall. Quite a bit of impact there for Forbes, and he'll probably be aching in the morning. Sean Allen still ahead, but the battle behind him rages on between Carl Sharp and Andre Darfel. Darfel having a look up the inside of Sharp. Sharp feeling the pressure, keeps the power on, maybe slightly too much, and he carries his speed off the track and far into the kitty litter. Up into turn 5, and the battle for the lead is still as close as it can be. Gearing and Gable side by side, neither driver wanting to give an inch. Gable edging ahead slightly through Kenwood, but Gearing keeping the pressure on. Down the lead pair drop into the final turn. This is going to be a race to the line. Side by side they race to the flag. Gearing edging ahead by the smallest of margins, steals the victory from Gable. Fantastic racing. Confirmation of the results, and it was Gearing who edged out Jeff Gable by the narrowest of margins, 8/100ths of a second. Stratum 0.6 of a second behind the leaders, with Glenn Clark just 0.3 of a second behind him.
Unfortunately, on the final lap, after 9 fantastic laps of racing, I mean, the guys were dicing so hard but so clean. We swapped positions so many times. You know, if you don't try, you might as well stay at home. But I had to try, I had to keep pushing, and yeah, spilled the last of my talent entering turn 1 and parked it in the wall, unfortunately. So a tough end, but you know, tribute to the guys we're racing with. I mean, it was hard and fair and fine racing. I don't even know who won, but whoever won certainly earned it. He worked hard for it.
Listen, I was starting 3rd on the grid, slipped to 4th right away, but managed to watch a tremendous battle for 1st and 2nd between Rob and James all the time, hoping they'd let me claw a little way back, maybe hoping they'd slow each other up. Didn't look that way from where I was.
Yeah, no, it was an incredible race. I think it's probably the closest race we've had in the Lotus Challenge this year. I mean, the top 4 all finished within a second of each other. Jeff and Etienne and James and myself, I mean, we had an epic the whole race. A couple of corners I went from 1st to 3rd and then back to 2nd, and I pipped Jeff on the last line. I got him on the last corner. A replica, I think, of what he did to me earlier in the season.
It's not the first time we finished less than a nose cone apart. This time was 100th of a second. I honestly thought I had them.
Race 2, the lights go out and the accelerators are pressed to the floor, and the excitement will once again begin. Rob Gearing gets a great start and has quite an advantage over the field heading into turn 1. Behind him, second place is up for grabs with Jeff Gable, Glenn Clark and Etienne Stratum battling for position. Down the inside of Renexcon, and Gable moves into second place. Clark takes 3rd round the outside and Stratum settles for 4th. Climbing up to Sassel, and they're still bunched closely together as they battle it out for 2nd place. Gable leads Clark, and Delata dives down the inside of Stratum and moves up a position. Stratum coming under pressure from Sean Hewitt, but he's also determined not to let Delata get away, and he keeps the pressure on Delata through Kenwood and down to turn 7. Dropping down to BMW Performance Parts, Sean Hewitt and Connor Jones run side by side. Hewitt edges ahead. In front of them, Anton Goose and Neil Delata are in a close battle. Through Renexcon, Hewitt holds his position ahead of the 60-year-old Connor Jones. Climbing up to Sassel, and Youth holds the advantage over experience as Jones moves ahead of Hewitt. Into Renix Khan and the yellow machine of Barry John Robinson leads the rookie Ashley Dean. The pair of them are about to be lapped by race leader Rob Gearing, who has a comfortable margin ahead of Gable. Powering through to speed and sound sweep, Gearing makes his move and sails past Ashley Dean. Just a little further on and he passes Barry John Robinson. Dropping into the final turn, Andre Darfel leads Sean Allen, the two of them holding 9th and 10th position respectively. After the close dices of race 1, Jeff Gable's having a relatively lonely race in 2nd position. He is also coming up to lap Dean and Robinson. Into the hairpin, a lock-up for Darfel, but that doesn't slow him down. He manages to keep it on the black stuff. Behind him, Sean Allen has lost it and gone off on the inside. He collects his composure and continues with his race, a few seconds adrift of where he would like to be. Rob Gearing has led from flag to flag, and he will come round to the final turn to find the checkered flag waiting for him and a double victory on the day. A nice easy race 2 for him. The battle for 6th place, it is Connor Jones who is still ahead of Sean Hewitt, the 16-year-old having a great run here at Zwartkops. A 5-second victory for Rob Gearing over Jeff Gable. Connor Jones just over 7/10 of a second ahead of Sean Hewitt. Mark Butcher taking Class C honours and Andre Duplessis Class L. The cars are gathered in the post-race assembly area for spot checks. We caught up with Sean Hewitt and Connor Jones.
He's quick, I'll give him that. He's got some talent. Yeah, certainly a future star in the series. A little bit of issues with my rear brakes locking up. Cost me the position, but yeah, I'll give it to him. Clean racing, good fun.
That was excellent, eh? Got past Sean on turn 8 and just kept on pushing, almost caught Neil. I think if we had 2 more laps, we would have caught him, eh? It was good.
It was good fun. It's my first race, so it was good to say someone that's got a little more experience, but it was awesome. I enjoyed it, really enjoyed it.
Very, very great dice. Never expected my brother-in-law to be so close on my horse, but it was very, very good. You had to block him a couple of times, but managed to keep him off till the end, eh?
Yeah, no, I was very happy. I think it's quite ironic that I managed to do to Jeff what he's been doing to me the whole year. So I managed to get just a little bit of a gap at the front, and I could see in my mirrors that Glenn was keeping him really busy. And I know what that's like, because when you're blocking, you're not as quick. And I managed to just kind of eke out a little bit every lap, and I had a bit of a gap. So I had a very nice race, and yeah, I'm totally chuffed with the weekend.
We'll be back with more exciting racing after the break.